Emerging reports from yesterday suggest that the Raptors have a huge interest in drafting Scottie Barnes with the 4th overall pick or through a trade down scenarios, and that Masai Ujiri is not locked in on taking Jalen Suggs with the 4th overall pick. So in this video, we're going to break down all of that discussion, plus show you some possible trade down scenarios where the Raptors can land Scottie Barnes. Let's get into it. Welcome NBA and Raptors fans to Amateur Hour Sports. This is a channel where you get NBA content with a focus on the Toronto Raptors at least 4 days a week. That is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. This is your Friday episode where we're talking about the reports that suggest Raptors have higher interest in Scottie Barnes than Jalen Suggs. So if you like what you see from today's video and want more of myself talking about the NBA and the Raptors and videos and content just like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below to show your support to the channel as we get closer to the NBA draft. Lots of NBA draft content coming. You don't want to miss it. We are on a road to 5,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for 4.5k. We are well on our way to that huge milestone. It would mean a lot if you guys would help me get there. But let's get down to business for today. So reports emerged yesterday. I want to say I was surprised. I'd say I was a little bit surprised, but it is very like Masai to go into a draft and not go the expected route. And, you know, sometimes that pays off, going with maybe somebody like Pascal Siakam in the first round, but sometimes it does not pay off, as Masai Ujiri also selected Bruno Caboclo in the first round, and yeah, we all know how that one went. But he favors the bold ones, and he likes to favor the guys with a ton of upside. And looking at the two players between Jalen Suggs and Scottie Barnes, maybe there is a little bit of appeal to the upside for Scottie Barnes, especially because he is an athletic freak. And with the 4th overall pick, the Raptors, I think, are in this pretty simple scenario here. It's a little bit more complex for other teams, but the Raptors are in a simple scenario here. You take whoever falls out of Green, Mobley, and Suggs, and the most likely player to fall out of those three players, I believe, is Jalen Suggs, and a lot of people do believe that the most likely player to fall is Jalen Suggs in this scenario. How I would kind of equate the top 6 prospects is that you've got Cade, he's a lock for number 1, and then like a tick down, you've got your 3, you've got Green, Mobley, and Suggs. I would say Mobley is the worst of the 3, not that that's really anything against him there, but they're about there, and then you get like another couple ticks down, and you've got your Jonathan Kuminga, you've got your Scottie Barnes there. So I would say that there is a considerable gap between the top 4 and then the 5 and 6. And I would say the gap is even bigger from 6 to 7. So the prospects are very top heavy in this draft. The Raptors were blessed with the opportunity to draft in the top 4 of this draft, going for a player like Suggs, who, you know, looking at his stats, had a great season with Gonzaga. Obviously, they almost went undefeated throughout the whole season. Jalen Suggs was the leader of that team. He put up over 14 points per game, 4.5 assists, 5.3 rebounds. He's a great rebounding guard on some very efficient numbers, 50% from the field, 33% from 3, some good steals as well, 1.9, so he plays some good defense. And people criticize Jalen Suggs for his shooting so often, but like, over 33% shooting from 3 for a player, especially in college, that is bound to improve, especially when you have the shooting mechanics like Jalen Suggs does. And the big appeal to this player is the fact that he's got such a good basketball mind. He's a very good playmaker. He makes the game easier for the other players on his team, which would be great for the Raptors, with a lot of good players who can put the ball in the basket. Also, his athleticism along with that great basketball mind, his footwork is almost second to none. Also because he played football growing up in high school, that significantly aided his footwork. In Minnesota, where he grew up, he was the number 1 ranked basketball player coming out of high school and the number 1 ranked football player. All of that combines into somebody with great court vision, great spatial awareness, great intangibles, as well as the fact that he's got all this talent, all this footwork compiled into one player. A lot to like about Jalen Suggs. But then you go to Scottie Barnes, who also had a great college season, about 10 points per game, 4 assists per game, 4 rebounds per game. He excels at finishing at the rim with 50% field goal percentage. Not quite the 3-point shooter as Jalen Suggs, 27% for Scottie Barnes. And then you look at the free throw percentage, well, not that good, 62%. And his strengths. When you go to Scottie Barnes' strengths, you also go to the playmaking, but the athleticism and also what significantly helps this player get by. I mean, the wingspan and the reach is incredible for this player. Standing at about 6'9", Scottie Barnes has a 7'2" wingspan and a 9-foot reach while he is standing still. That is remarkable. And that size significantly helps him on defense as well as with his switchability. And even though he's got the body of a power forward, he basically played as Florida State's point guard, which definitely makes him a interesting prospect, somebody of that size who can facilitate, who can ball handle, who can get those passes off. That is something that definitely appeals to Masai Ujiri and with all of that athleticism, there is a lot of upside for this player, but he is less than a sure thing compared to Jalen Suggs. Now, this is where Masai Ujiri maybe wants to take this risk. Scottie Barnes, who we did talk about in a video earlier in the week, I said he's a perfect fit for the Raptors. However, not with the 4th overall pick. You want to go more for the sure things, and I think that the sure thing in this scenario is Jalen Suggs. We did a video about a few weeks ago when the Raptors did land that 4th overall pick in the NBA draft lottery. But even with all of this in mind, I do understand that there is a lot of upside when it comes to Scottie Barnes. And even though there's a lot of upside when it comes to Jalen Suggs, maybe there is a little bit more to get out of Scottie Barnes due to all of those natural talents, which I would call the athletics, his size, the wingspan, the reach that I alluded to earlier, and the fact that it's such a unique player who can play as a point guard even though he's got the body of a power forward, who's got insane switchability on defense, which certainly appeals to the Toronto Raptors. Maybe Masai Ujiri is looking at this, maybe the Raptors scouts are looking at this, maybe the development team is looking at Scottie Barnes like somebody that they could definitely work with over the course of a number of seasons to get him to his max potential. But if I'm in the 4th overall pick, I don't want to take this risk in taking Scottie Barnes. I don't know if it's as much of a risk, but it's a much bigger risk than taking Jalen Suggs. Now, I've seen online through Twitter, social media, Raptors media, and all that, a lot of people have been reluctant on Suggs because of his shooting, but Jalen Suggs is a great shooter, as you saw with those field goal percentages. To me, that is absolutely fine. I mean, he is developing his three-point game. He is getting there with a three-point game. Maybe it's not perfect yet, but that is quite good. And if that's a problem, then it's an even bigger problem for Scottie Barnes, who has definitely not been able to showcase the fact that he has a good jump shot, a good serviceable jump shot for the NBA. Will that improve? I'd say more than likely. But the shooting mechanics are another thing that does kind of stun me when it comes to Scottie Barnes, which it doesn't with Jalen Suggs. He's got the mechanics, so you can work with that to develop a shot. Scottie Barnes, not quite there. Now, I love Scottie Barnes as a prospect, but you really do have to be very picky and go to the fine details when you're selecting this high in the draft. And this high in the draft, I don't know about taking Scottie Barnes. I'm going with Jalen Suggs number 4. But where it could get interesting is in these trade down scenarios where we could be looking at the Magic who want to trade up to take Suggs, or the Oklahoma City Thunder who want to trade up to take Suggs. So why don't we start with the Orlando Magic at the 5th overall pick? They can move up to take Jalen Suggs, but the Raptors receive compensation for going down. They get that 5th overall pick, but also Mo Bamba, who would be a nice backup center for next season, who has some untapped potential the Raptors development team could possibly work with, and the 2nd round pick that the Orlando Magic have, the 33rd overall pick, which would pair nicely with the Raptors to get some nice depth for that bench. I like this trade, and if the Raptors are definitively sold on taking Scottie Barnes in this draft, then I understand the fact they would trade down. If they did trade down to take Scottie Barnes, I would understand. I personally wouldn't. I'd be happy to take Suggs, but I would understand. At the end of the day, we always say in the comments, I always say in the videos, that Masai Ujiri knows best. He's going to do what's best for the franchise, and I support him in that. Sometimes he makes mistakes, like everybody does. But on the whole, I believe in Masai Ujiri to make the right decision. And if the right decision to him is to trade down and take Scottie Barnes, then so be it. Another trade partner that we could possibly find is with the Oklahoma City Thunder, because they might want to trade up to take Jalen Suggs, because that would be a nice backcourt partner with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So they take Jalen Suggs with the 4th overall pick. We get compensated with the 6th overall pick, where we can take Scottie Barnes, assuming if Masai feels it out, the Orlando Magic want to take Kuminga instead of Scottie Barnes with the 5th overall pick. We also get a 1st round pick for next season, a 2022 1st round pick via the Los Angeles Clippers, which they got in that blockbuster Paul George deal that we do not need to touch on again on this channel. But, precedent for this trade is the fact that the Atlanta Hawks took Luka Doncic 3rd overall a few years ago, and then the Dallas Mavericks selected Trae Young with the 5th overall pick, and also gave them another 1st to move up 2 spots. So similar in this scenario, the Raptors are 4th, Thunder are with the 6th overall pick to move up 2 spots. It's going to cost you that pick, the 6th overall pick, plus a 1st round pick for next season. Maybe you could also spin that into the Thunder pick for the next season, because they've got a plethora of picks. Bottom line is you get 2 1st round picks, including the 6th overall pick from this season. So interesting trades. I think that I would rather have Jalen Suggs. I don't know what you guys think. I personally think that Jalen Suggs would be a great fit for the Raptors. It would be a perfect Kyle Lowry replacement. His size, his intangibles, his defense, his athleticism provides a lot of upside and provides a lot of great value even in his first season with the team. His height would make him a nice backcourt partner for Fred VanVleet, who definitely lacks the size. Scottie Barnes would also fit that dynamic, but I think it's a bigger risk here. And getting so lucky with that 4th overall pick, I don't know if you do want to take the risk. But if Masai can manufacture a deal that would definitely benefit the Raptors to trade down, and he has got the firm belief that Scottie Barnes is the man for his franchise, I can understand that, because I understand the great fit that Scottie Barnes has with this team, has with the style that this team tries to run with the Nick Nurse system, especially on the defensive end. Scottie Barnes is more of a defense-first player, but that will definitely appeal to the Raptors, who are a defense-first team. So I understand it makes sense on both sides. I think that these trades, one with Orlando, one with Thunder, whichever one Masai or the Raptors would want to do, I think both of those would make sense. I'm just personally staying on the boat of hold what you have, use that pick, try to get a very good player here. Jalen Suggs, you're going to get a great player here. I don't think it's worth the trade down. But last thing we need to touch on, it's always down to Masai. We always believe in Masai to make the right decisions for this franchise. I believe that in the week leading up to the draft, he is going to make the right decision. We are just going to see how it all plays out. So let me know what you guys think about these reports. Do you agree that the Raptors should trade down to take Scottie Barnes? Is he the man for the franchise? Or do you want to just sit, hold, and take Jalen Suggs with the 4th overall pick? I want to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, because that wraps up for me for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you are still here watching the video at the end, be sure to smash that like button if you did enjoy the video at any point. Really goes a long way to helping us reach some new viewers with the channel with that YouTube algorithm. Also, it shows me that you made it to the end of the video and you're a big supporter of the channel. Check out our Twitch, twitch.tv/amateursports, where we will be watching along the NBA draft next week. Don't be afraid to show up Thursday next week at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. The link is in the description. We also do streams every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time for your entertainment. Plus, subscribe to the channel. On our road to 5,000 subscribers, you can help us get there. Once we get there, I will shave my head to celebrate. Help us expedite the process by joining the Amateur Army. Other videos by the channel you may enjoy. And always remember, at the end of the day, believe what I say, and if you disagree, that is okay. Enjoy the grind. I'll see you again next time for another video.